for me and my staff, every time we come to this stage, this is a stage we all dread. No matter how prepared we are, the MC desk is there for, as a monitor to tell us what we thought we have, how far we have gone, and what we thought, how far we haven't. Even in 2019, we had the same tension. You always have this tension with you when you reach this zone. We still have. Not because we are not ready, not because we are not prepared, but because the policy of INEC in conducting election is that even a by-election of a councillor, we follow the same procedure as if we are going to elect a governor. We in the FCT, we dread this time, a red zone, but we are in it. We have tried. We will now, let me welcome all of us to this discussion of the red zone, the level of our own preparedness, what is left for us to do, what is it that we have done, which will be analyzed in order to enable us, by the grace of God, return to our offices and map out real projects and programs and determination to ensure that this election is conducted very freely, fairly, and it's transparent and it's inclusive. This is why we are here today.
By way of reminder, the Commission's strategy in monitoring its preparation for elections is anchored on 3 timelines called the green, amber, and red zones. The span of the green zone includes the necessary post-election planning and preparation activities and other activities from the release of the timetable and schedule of activities for the election to about 16 to 18 weeks before the election. The amber zone, which we have just concluded, with a timeline of 16 weeks, begins 14 weeks before the election and ends 2 weeks to an election. The 12 days red zone consists of 9 days of 9 days to election, election day, and 2 days after election. Therefore, in 13 days, that is on Saturday, once again, Saturday 12th February 2022, the FCT elections for council chairman and councillors will take place. Therefore, today, the 29th January 2022, marks the end of the amber zone, while hopefully by tomorrow, 30th January 2022, the red zone will kick in. The amber zone report activities, starting with the bimodal accreditation systems, going through recruitments and training of ad hoc staff, printing of voter registers, distribution of PVCs, supply of non-sensitive materials, security, preparation of racks and collation shelters. These, I believe, will be discussed, and the level of our preparedness in respect of all these things will be made public to us here, and we will discuss that. However, today's workshop is about stepping up our efforts in readiness for the critical phase of the election preparation, namely the red zone. Of course, the red has emphasized the importance of the red zone. It consists of the following 9 activities: deployment of security, INEC funds, INEC sensitive materials, preparations and submissions of report, registration area-centered camp activities, continuous accreditation and voting, retrieval of election materials, transportation, and lastly, cohesion. Executing these activities meticulously and timely takes us to the promised land of free, fair, credible, peaceful, inclusive, transparent, and therefore acceptable elections. Therefore, it is an obligation for us to scan the FCT environment and those of the adjoining states to identify both the internal and external factors that have the potential to impact negatively on the election, analyze the factors, and evolve effective preventive and/or mitigating measures. In this regard, we have assembled some experts on election risk management to engage with us and our stakeholders and share their expertise and skills on the following carefully chosen topics: the EMSC data collection and reporting tools for the red zone, the INEC security alert and notification system, the ISANS, and I believe this will also talk about the FMAT that allows us to monitor threats on individuals and facilities. And then, of course, the EMSC communication strategy and election day operations. However, we must keep in mind that when electoral risks are not understood and addressed, they can undermine the credibility of the process and results it yields with possible devastating violence.
Incidentally, it is taking place almost 1 year ahead of the general election 2023, and the Commission had noted that this is the second important election where INEC will be deploying the BVAS. In a similar note, the FCT election is also the second important election after the governorship in Alhambra, the governorship election in Alhambra, where voters can experience voting in new polling units upon INEC's successful completion of its PU review and expansion process, which led to the increase from about 120,000 polling units to now up to more than 176,000 polling units across the country, an effort geared towards ensuring all voters have better access to polling units close to their place of residence. For all these reasons, the FCT election is particularly important for INEC to draw lessons for future elections, including that of off-cycle governorship elections in Ekiti and Oshun later this year, and the 2023 general elections. In this context, the EMSC is very instrumental, being an innovative election management system that monitors critical occurrence along the electoral cycle. The phased monitoring of the processes that it offers is a critical factor of success. It helps election managers adjust to evolving and uncertain contexts and take appropriate action to avoid glitches and delays, leading to successful outcomes. I'm sure the EMSC tool is playing its role in helping the INEC identifying gaps, risks, and lapses in the process, and is useful in addressing them. In addition to this important role of identifying issues ahead of time, monitoring also ensures accountability and transparency in the electoral process, thereby inspiring stakeholders' confidence and acceptability of outcomes. It is therefore commendable to note that INEC has demonstrated strong commitment towards comprehensive, scientific, and evidence-based monitoring of the electoral process through the innovative tool of the EMSC.